People might think, well look, supermarkets, I feel very comfortable when I go in there, you know, aren't they helping us? And we just say, well look at that a little more closely.
They're the two biggest players in Australian retail. An empire that last year generated some $3 billion in profit. But their success is not without its detractors.
I think if we look back over the past 20 years and the growth of the major supermarket chains, one would have to say, well, look, why on earth were we allowed to get to this position where there is such entrenched power?
They dominate the grocery sector, but they're increasingly in petrol, they're increasingly in liquor. Coles and Woolworths are spreading their tentacles to as many retailing areas as they can.
To satisfy this immense thirst for market dominance, Woolworths and Coles are expanding rapidly. Last year, they opened 59 new supermarkets.
We're always looking for opportunities to deliver what customers want where they are.
But not all the new stores were well received.
There is a real feeling out there, not with everyone, but with a good number of people to say, well look, do we really want this?
In 2007, the small Queensland town of Mullaney lost their long-standing battle to keep Woolworths out. Their environmental and social concerns went unheeded, and the supermarket set up shop anyway. Across the New South Wales border, the country town of Mullumbimby seemed to be keeping the fresh food people at bay, at least for now. Just 45 minutes north of central Sydney, the suburb of Newport are waging their own war against Australia's #1 retailer.
Newport's typical of what's known as the peninsula, the northern part of the northern beaches. The people here are really more like a country village. The shopping strip with all the small retailers and the cafes and the restaurants is continuous with the entry to the surfing beach.
But Woolworths want their piece of the action. They're currently in talks with the Newport Council and independent consultants to rezone this council car park. If that happens, they'll be building a Woolies supermarket double the size of the existing Coles supermarket just metres away.
A lot of people leave Newport to do that shopping. And
that doesn't necessarily mean that they want another supermarket.
We also know that compared to the national average, Newport has just 1/3 the supermarket space compared to the Australian average.
We're going to get a 1 acre supermarket with nearly 4 acres of car park on top of it. It's just completely out of scale.
Peter Middleton is one of an army of Newport residents that are determined to make Woolworths reconsider their development plans. 4,700 people have signed their anti-Woolworths petition to date. But will Woolworths change their proposal?
So are you completely ruling out the possibility of a smaller development?
We will put forward a proposal for what we believe is an appropriate development.
But some in the community have questioned whether Woolworths' conduct in Newport has been appropriate. Just across the road from the proposed supermarket is this now vacant block of land. It is the site of the former Newport Caltex service station.
It was a family-owned business of more than 30 years standing. I'm told that they approached Woolworths about being their shopper docket service station outlet.
Woolworths had other ideas. They opened a co-branded Woolworths Caltex service station just a few doors down. The impact was immediate.
6 weeks after it opened, it put out of business the family business that had been there for over 30 years, the other Caltex service station. To come in and put a well-run family business out of business in 6 weeks, it's just not fair.
They're in business, there's nothing wrong with that. They are very efficient at their business, but we think that the market power that Woolworths and Coles have is of such concentration that actually they are doing consumers a disservice.
Local communities face an uphill battle for the simple reason that Coles and Woolworths will stop at nothing to get into their neighbourhood, that they'll bully the council, they'll use the courts, they'll do whatever they can to open up in that neighbourhood.
Some people might ask what difference a few more supermarkets in a country already teeming with them can really make. Woolies say once they've arrived, they'll be welcome.
People are resistant to change, but what tends to happen is once we set up in a community that customers see we do a pretty good job at delivering the quality and the range and the value and the convenience. The views of some shouldn't necessarily dictate the choice of others.
But as the big two continue to roll out new supermarkets across the country, the unrest seems to be growing.